Hare Krishna to all dear devotees. Hare Krishna Swamini Gopi Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Mataji, whenever you are ready, you can please start, Mataji.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayat Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Pankajanabhaya Namo Pankajamalini Namo Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangri. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, 29th chapter, verses 23 to 35. Krishna and the gopis meet for the Rasa dance. Text 23. On the other hand, perhaps you have come here out of your great love for me, which has taken control of your hearts. This is, of course, quite commendable on your part, since all living entities possess natural affection for me. Text 24. The highest religious duty for the woman is to sincerely serve her husband, behave well towards her husband's family, and take good care of her children. Text 25. Women who desire a good destination in the next life should never abandon a husband who has not fallen from his religious standards, even if he is obnoxious, unfortunate, old, unintelligent, sickly, or poor. Text 26. For a woman from a respectable family, pretty adulterous affairs are always condemned. They bar her from heaven, ruin her reputation, and bring her difficulties and fear. Text 27. Transcendental love for me arises by the devotional process of hearing about me, seeing my deity form, meditating on me, and faithfully chanting my glories. The same result is not achieved by mere physical proximity. So please go back to your homes. Text 28. Sukadeva Goswami said, hearing these unpleasant words spoken by Govinda, the gopis became morose. Their great hopes were frustrated and they felt insurmountable anxiety. Text 29. Their heads hanging down and their heavy, sorrowful breathing dried up their reddened lips. The gopis scratched the grounds with their toes. Tears flowed from their eyes, carrying their kajala and washing away the 1 million smeared on their breast. Thus they stood silently, bearing the burden of their unhappiness. Text 30. Although Krishna was their beloved, and although they had abandoned all other objects of desire for his sake, he had been speaking to them unfavorably. Nonetheless, they remained unflinching in their attachment to him. Stopping their crying, and they wiped their eyes and began to speak, their voice stammering with agitation. Text 31. The beautiful gopi said, O all powerful one, you should not speak in this cruel way. Do not reject us, who have renounced all material enjoyments to render devotional service to your lotus feet. Reciprocate with us, O stubborn one. Just all the Paramville Lord Narayana, just as all the Primeval Lord Sri Narayana reciprocated with his devotees in their endeavors for liberation. Text 32. Our dear Krishna, as an expert in religious, you have advised us that the proper religious duty for women is to faithfully serve their husbands, children, and other relatives. We agree that this principle is valid. But actually, this service should be rendered to you. After all, O Lord, you are the dearmost friend of all embodied souls. You are their most intimate relative and indeed their very self. Text 33. Expert transcendentalists always direct their affection towards you because they recognize you as their true self and eternal beloved. What use do we have for these husbands, children, and relatives of ours? They who simply gives us trouble. Therefore, O Supreme Controller, grant us your mercy. O lotus-eyed ones, please do not cut down our long cherished hope to have your association. Text 34. Until today, our minds were observed in household affairs, but you easily stole both our minds and our hands away from our housework. Now our feet won't move one step from your lotus feet. How can we go back to Vraja? What would we do there? Text 35. Dear Krishna, please pour the nectar of your lips upon the fire within our hearts. A fire you agitated, a fire who you ignited with your smiling glance and the sweet song of your flute. If you do not, we will consign our bodies to the fire of separation from you, O friend, and thus, like yogis, attain to the abode of your lotus feet by meditation. Thank you so much, Prabhuji and Matajis. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Swamini Gopi Mataji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Venudas Prabhuji. Please accept our humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Prabhuji, please.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. Thank you all for joining for today's Bhagavatam session. And thank you, Swamini Gopi Mataji, for reading today's Bhagavatam section, Slokas translation. So we'll start with prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mishnabadaya Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamniti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachatta Deshatarani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you, Sundarana Prabhu, for giving this opportunity to share few points from the purpose of Srila Prabhupada's humble disciples. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, chapter 29. Krishna and the gopis meet for the rasa dance. So just to give you a background, we are in the section of Krishna's very intimate pastime of this rasa dance. Of course, this is a very deep and elevated subject matter which I am neither qualified nor realized. But as a service, I will try to share few points from the purports. So, and so far we heard how Krishna, remembering the promise that he had made to the gopis when he had stolen their clothes. So now he, using his Yogamaya potencies, and decided to perform this wonderful pastime during this autumn night. So he started playing the flute. And when gopis heard this wonderful flute music, then immediately they abandoned all their household duties and then ran away towards Krishna. And of course it is mentioned that all the gopis has purely spiritual bodies. And when some gopis husbands and other family members stopped them going into this arena, then Lord Krishna, he arranged for them temporarily to exhibit the material body which they left there, and for the sake of their family members, and with their spiritual body they went to the this rasa dance place. So then when all the gopis came, now we see that Lord Krishna, in the last session also we saw how he's asking, why have you come to you? It's not good for you to travel to such a place, dead of the night, forest full of violent creatures, and your husbands and children will soon come searching after you. So all these things. Of course, yesterday His Grace Sundarananda Prabhu also narrated from the purports beautiful points, how the deeper meaning of all these things. So we are continuing from that. And the 23rd sloka, So Krishna is presenting his arguments to gopis. He's saying that mat abhishanayat. So he's saying that maybe you came here due to love that you have for me, and which is quite nature. Upapannanam. So it's saying that it's quite nature, it's befitting. Because priyante mai jantavaha. Saying that all living entities possesses natural affection for him. So since all the living entities are part and parcel of Krishna, so we have a natural tendency to love Krishna, to serve Krishna. And Chaitanya Charitamrita also we see that Jivera Swarupaya Krishnera Nityadasa. So by doing service or by loving Krishna, so we also derive great pleasure and blissful. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So Bhagavad Gita is. But unfortunately in this material world we are away from Krishna's service. So that's why our love is covered by Maya. So and due to that we are going through so many problems, challenges, especially the cycle of birth and death. So no happiness. So that's why Srila Prabhupada mentions that all these ISKCON centers are like a oasis in the desert. So this wonderful process will help us to awaken our dormant love that is covered by Maya through this process of chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So if we can take up this process sincerely, of course I am talking to myself, then our dormant love will be awakened, and then we can situate again in the unlimited bliss. So in the next sloka, so Krishna is mentioning the duty of the woman. So he is saying that sincerely to serve her husband, bhaktuhu sushrushanam, and then behave well towards her husband's family. Tad bandhunam cha kalyanaha, and also take care of the children. So prajanam chanuposhanam. So if I remember correctly, even Srila Prabhupada also mentions to one of his female disciples that to take care of their children, spend time with them, raise them nicely in Krishna conscious way. Even I think last couple of sessions by His Grace, Dwarkadish Prabhu, he was also mentioning about it. So we have to spend time for family, friends, colleagues, so that it will help us in our spiritual growth also. We have to take all the other parts also, so that it will be our spiritual practice will be can continue longer period of time. And also Prabhupada mentions that because these children were given by Krishna, so it's our responsibility to take care them nicely and support them in their growth in Krishna consciousness. And in the purport also, quoting Srila Jiva Goswami commentary, saying that here gopis real or eternal husband is Supreme Lord Krishna. So there is a word called amayaya, so without illusion. So that reveals that supreme religious duty for the gopis is to serve Krishna, because he is the real husband. So of course, in fact, for all the jivas, they are all meant to serve Krishna, and they are also considered as a female, and the real husband is Krishna for everyone. So this is also mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So during the discussion of between Vallabh Bhatta and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so this Vallabh Bhatta one day he asked Advaita Acharya, like every living entity is a female, Prakriti, and considers Krishna as her husband, their husband, Pati. And it is the duty of a chaste wife not to utter her husband's name. Of course, as Kali Yuga progressing, it is becoming very quite common that the wife calls husband with their name, but here it is mentioned that the duty of a chaste wife is not to utter husband's name. And Vallabhatta says that, but all of you are chanting the name of Krishna. So how can this be called a religious principle? And Advaita Acharya says that, okay, Mahaprabhu is next to us. So he is the personification of a religious principle. Why don't you ask him? So you should ask him. So he will give proper answer. And then Mahaprabhu hearing this, he turns towards Vallabh Bhatta and says that, oh Vallabh Bhatta, you don't know religious principles correctly. First duty of chaste woman, what is it? To carry out the order of her husband. What is the order of Krishna? To chant his name, Satatam Kirtayanto, continuously. So therefore, if you are chaste, then you are adherent to the husband, you must chant the Lord's holy name, because you cannot, a chaste wife cannot deny the husband's order. So following that religious principle, a pure devotee always chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So in that way, Vallabha was speechless. Here also, Gopi's real husband, Krishna, so they are here. That's what in the purport it mentions. So in the next sloka, what Krishna is mentioning here, wonderful statements that the chaste wife should not abandon husband who is not fallen from his religious standards, even if he is obnoxious, unfortunate, old, unintelligent, sickly, poor, like that. So, of course, unfortunately, as Kali Yuga is progressing, the divorce rate is increasing. One time, one devotee was sharing that one young girl married a old man, and his friend asked, "Why you married this old man? What kind of comforts you will get? What kind of happiness you get?" And this young girl replied saying that this person age is come means less, but his income is jada. So his income is lot. So his age come, income jada. So which means that he will leave the body soon. He will die. Then all wealth I will get it. Then I can enjoy it, like that. So, but Prabhupada mentions that the ideal household life is structured around mutual spiritual advancement, where husband remains chaste and dedicated to Krishna, and wife serves her husband as a way to serve the Lord. So in that way, the ultimate goal for both the husband and wife is to support each other in going back home, back to God. It should be like that. And then Krishna further mentions his argument saying that for a woman who is coming from respectable family, kulastriyaha, saying that petty adulterous affairs, apupatyam, they are condemned, jugupsitam. And also he is saying that what other things can happen, asvargyam, that doesn't lead to heaven. Not only that, it ruins the good reputation, ayasasyam, and then it also brings difficulty and fear, bhayavaham, like it will create bhayavaham. So whenever somebody has some illegal relationships, then obviously they'll go through the fearness. And it also saying that how one can love, how one's love can arise in general. Is saying that that is through the devotional process. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Darshana, Dhyanat. So Shravanam, listening Krishna Katha from wonderful devotees, and Kirtanam, chanting this what Srila Prabhupada gave for us, this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And Darshanat, seeing the deity form, and Dhyanat, and meditation. So through this, in this material world, in general, one can awaken the dormant love of Supreme Lord Krishna. Of course, gopis are the topmost devotees, and they are in their spiritual bodies, and they have a complete love for Krishna. But here Krishna is presenting these kind of arguments to tease gopis. Of course, this similar statement or same statement we hear Krishna giving to Brahmana Patni's pastime also, asking them to return back and then do the sadhana. So in general also, Krishna here also saying that simply that same result is not achieved by mere physical proximity. So simply we also being in close proximity or physical proximity of great devotees, that will not awaken love for Krishna. So then how it will awaken? So we should serve them, sevaya, and then we humbly inquire from them, pariprasnena, about the spiritual subject matter. And then we have to apply them in our life. So like doing this Hare Krishna chanting and then serving the devotees, like that. And in the next sloka, Sukadeva Goswami is saying that hearing these unpleasant words spoken by Govinda, ipriyam, unpleasant words. They became morose, vishannaha. So due to that, what happened? Their great hopes, sankalpa. So they were frustrated. And then they felt anxiety, chintam. So in the purport, it is mentioned that the gopis didn't know what to do. So now Krishna is asking to return. So they were thinking like, should we fall at the lotus feet of Krishna and beg for his mercy, or as Krishna mentioned, should go back home, back to their homes. But they could do neither, and they felt a great anxiety. So in the next sloka, we see that Sukadeva Goswami is saying that their heads hanging down and their heavy, sorrowful breathing, and tears flowed from their eyes, and they stood silently, bearing the burden of their unhappiness. In the purport, it is mentioned that the gopis were feeling like, um, so if Krishna has not been conquered by our love, then our love must not be a genuine love. So it may not be correct. So if we cannot properly love Krishna, then what is the use of our life? Like that, because they are situated in a pure spiritual platform, they are thinking like this. And in the next sloka, the gopis are thinking like, although Krishna their beloved, and they had abandoned all the other objects of desire for sense gratification for his sake, now he is speaking unfavorable. So here we see that the gopis, they abandoned all other objects of desire. Anyabhilashita sunyam. So they don't have any other motive except to please Krishna. But nonetheless, they remained unflinching. Even though Krishna is speaking unfavorable, but they remained unflinching in their attachment to him. And then they started speaking. And the purport, it is mentioned that the gopis are not willing to give him up. So even though he is speaking unfavorably, they are not ready to give him up. Also, they would not allow him to reject them. So, and they wanted to be accepted by Krishna. So they are staying there only, like. And then you see that the gopis started speaking. So now the gopis counter arguments we'll hear. So far we heard Krishna's arguments, and now we'll hear the gopis counter arguments. So here he is saying that matyaja, so do not reject. So he's saying that do not reject us. And they are also saying santyajya, sarva vishayan. So they renounced all material enjoyments. For what purpose? To render devotional service to at his lotus feet. Padamulam bhaktaha. So that's why they are requesting to reciprocate. Bhajasva. So Krishna also mentions in Bhagavad Gita, he will reciprocate. Ye yatamam prapadyante tam sutaiva bhajamiham. So if somebody is looking for some sense gratification, Krishna will provide those kind of things. Of course, if somebody, though they have some sense gratification and approach Krishna, and the beauty of this Krishna conscious process is, even if they have some material desires and approach Krishna, slowly they will be purified from their material desires if they continue to practice this Krishna consciousness and be in the association of the devotees. So we see that, but the best, what gopis did here is, like, they renounced all material enjoyment for sense gratification. Instead, they engage all the resources in the service of Krishna. So that's why Mahaprabhu, who took after he took sannyas, is very strict, avoiding association with women. So he says that we have to follow in the footsteps of the gopis. Ramya kachitupasana vrajavadhuvaregana ya kalpitaha. So there is no conception of worship better than these gopis. So because they are situated in pure devotional service. So here we see that they wanted to love Krishna at any risk. So that's why this is not an immoral activity. So any relationship to Krishna can never be immoral. So that's what Srila Prabhupada mentions in one of the purport. And continuing, gopis, their counter argument, they are saying that yes, you are correct. He's saying that serving the husband and children and relatives and everything is correct. The religious duty, what you said, Pati apatya suhridam. That's correct. But you are the dearmost, sorry, you are the dearmost friend of all embodied souls. You are their most intimate relatives and indeed their very self. So Krishna also mentions in Bhagavad Gita, Saharadam Suhradam Sarvabhutana. So he is the dearmost friend and well-wishers. That's why Bhagavatam says that if one who surrenders to Krishna, so they fulfill or they serve everyone. So he says that as soon as we enter into this material world, so we are indebted to so many people. Devarshi Bhuta Aptranam Pitranam Naking Karo Nayam Ronicha Rajan. So I think last two sessions also is Chris Dwarkadishi Prabhu is saying that we are taking so much from this material world, like through air or water, so many things, and learning from teachers, everything, but we have to give something. So that is through the service to the spiritual master, to the devotees, like that. Sarvatmaya Sharanam Charanyam Gato Mukundam Parihatya Kartam. So when we take shelter, complete shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Krishna, then we please everyone. Yata taror mula nichena tripyantita skanda bhujapasakaha. Like Bhagavatam says that so when we serve Krishna, then we please everyone. Of course, practice in devotees, we cannot imitate gopis because they are pure devotees. But following in their footsteps, we can progress in the path of bhakti by serving Guru and Vaishnavas, like that. But here gopis trying to explain this basic point, saying that that you are the dearmost friend, and it's this is the service that we wanted to do it. So they are attempting to defeat Krishna with his own statements, because he mentioned to return back or to serve their relatives, friends, family members, like that. And gopis further is saying that kushalaha, so expert transcendental persons or pure devotees. So he's saying that they direct their affection towards you. Why? Because they recognize you as their true self and eternal beloved, Nitya Priya. And they are saying that what is the use of serving the other people, like where we get troubles only, Arti Dayaha. So that's why they are requesting not to cut down, Masma Chindayaha, not to cut down their long cherished hope to have the association. And the next sloka, the gopis are saying that when Supreme Lord Krishna, so he blew the flute, played the flute music, so that stole the minds of these gopis, the young girls, gopi girls. So that's why now they are saying that they cannot go back to their homes, and they are asking Krishna to retain their mind. So in the purport, it is mentioned that so Krishna may be replying, saying that okay, gopis, go for now. So let me think about it for a day or two, and then I will give your minds back. But in reply, what they are saying that gopis, our feet won't move. So they are saying that it is our feet refuse to move even one step. So please give us our minds back and also accept us. So then only we will go away. So that's why it's saying that how can we beg to go Vraja? What would we do there, like that? So in the last sloka for today, so here is they saying that so if you don't, then we will consign our bodies to the fire of separation from you. So like that. And they are giving a analogy, saying that how yogis attain to the abode of your lotus feet by meditation, like that. Of course, as several devotees mentioned earlier, so this is a very intimate pastime and exalted subject matter. Just repeating early devotees what they stressed and quoting Srila Prabhupada's Krishna book. So this dance is not like the ordinary dance that we see in this material world between young boys and young girls. So that's why in the beginning it is mentioned that this Krishna arranged this pastime through his internal potency, Yogamaya Upashitaha. So this is not on the platform of Mahamaya. So what we see in this melody, this is on the Yogamaya. So Krishna's internal potency. So the dancing of the young boys and young girls, Prabhupada says that in this material world, on the Mahamaya platform is for sense gratification, not for the pleasure of Krishna. But what gopis are performing or participating in this rasa dance is for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So that's why it is on the platform of Yoga Maya, so internal potency of Krishna. So we should see in that perspective and understand that Krishna's this beautiful rasa pastime from the spiritual point of view, because all the gopis are participating this pastime through their spiritual bodies, not any tinge of sense gratification or material lust. This is a pure love between Krishna and his dear devotees gopis. So I'll pause it here. Thank you all for giving this opportunity. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Yavacha Patitanam Pavanebhya Vaishnavebhya Namo Namo. Hare Krishna. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.